Harry Baechtel and Michael Seregow and the Sylvestris Quartet on Thursdays at 3. So glad you're with us. I'm Suzanne Nance, and coming up, we're going to hear music that will be performed live at Portland State University tomorrow. And you can find out more about that concert in Lincoln Hall on our website, allclassical.org, where you can also learn more about their brand new CD, The Good Song, Fauré in the 1890s. Thursdays at 3 is made possible by support from BMW Portland, Portland's BMW dealership for sales and service. They're downtown on Southwest Jefferson and 20th. BMW Portland open 7 days a week. Edward Elgar's Piano Quintet in A minor is on the program tomorrow night during your concert at Portland State University. And we're going to hear the second movement from this quintet. What can you tell us about this piece? Who wants to talk about this very special piece? Aaron?
Sure. Okay, so this was written in 1918. Elgar, obviously, this is World War I, so this is kind of, in a sense, there is some, in fact, the whole program has a sort of angsty World War era quality to it, but this piece, and particularly this movement, is kind of nostalgic. And if you think about, not just the political and social context of it, but also the fact that English music as an identity for so long was they imported everything, even Handel, if you think Handel was imported. You really have to look back to like Henry Purcell maybe to find somebody who was like, captured the soul of England. And so this is kind of the generation where that starts to come back. And it's a very distinctive sound. It's also we've been talking about how much he's channeling Brahms as well, it's just a very sweet, sentimental, wonderful late romantic sound.
Great. The second movement from Sir Edward Elgar's Piano Quintet in A minor, Opus 84, performed by the Sylvestris Quartet and pianist Michael Seregow. You can hear the quintet in its entirety tomorrow night in Lincoln Hall at Portland State University as part of the concert program titled From Dover Beach to Wenlock Edge. And again, you can find out more about tomorrow night's concert and their brand new CD on our website, allclassical.org, which will link you to the Sylvestris Quartet's website. All right, we have one more ensemble piece that's going to feature our baritone once again, Harry Baechtel. And Harry, I was thinking about, I know that you have ties to a few musicians in this ensemble. You went to high school with Aaron. We're in a band. I was thinking about your students at Portland State, about Professor Baechtel in a band way back in the day before he got into opera and art song. Tell us why you're drawn to this kind of song. In America, we call it art song. The French, they call it melody. The Germans, lieder. What is it about this kind of singing that appeals to you in your career?
Yeah, well, honestly, before I did any music like this whatsoever, I was playing music with this guy of an entirely different sort, but very much chamber music, really, is what we were doing. It was our own, but we always sort of loved fine detail and ensemble work. And so to get to do, in particular in this case, to get to do work within a quartet and with a string quartet in particular is an incredible privilege. It really, I'm jealous. I've wanted to be a string player for a long time, so I could sit and play these very works you're hearing. So to get to be a part of it is really quite lucky. But in the world of art song in general, I would say that it's a very, very fine art form. We get to work with extremely high-end poetry. And I don't no knock on opera, and I love opera, but often you're not necessarily dealing with quite the poetic subtlety that you might encounter perhaps in art song, which is for me more satisfying. I think suits my artistic ends a little better sometimes. And there's detail. There's fine, careful detail. There's pianissimo, if you want it. It's nice for really for softer singers like myself, and that's just always appealed to me. In particular, German lieder. We're doing an all-French program, and soon an English program, right. Which actually includes works by. We're doing a piece for string quartet and baritone called Dover Beach tomorrow, which is kind of like a glorified art song, a long one on a beautiful poem. But really, German lieder was what most drew me in initially. Schumann, Wolf, Brahms, Mahler in particular, even some of the Beethoven lieder. And that was really the gateway drug, which has me here today doing this kind of work. However, French music in particular is really, it sits a little higher in the voice, and I think it's been fun. It's been fun to work on.
And it was Gabriel Fauré that brought all of you together, right?
That's correct. I did know these two, but yes, in the big sense.
Yeah.
And Michael Seregow and I have collaborated together for quite some time as well. So we've worked on quite a bit of French rep. In fact, we did this cycle, La Bonne Chanson, just in the piano voice version in a recital years ago, and we're always sort of thinking, when can we find the chance to do this with the quintet? So
great. What are you going to end the show with today?
Well, we made an arrangement. One of the songs from Cinq Mélodies de Venise is called Mandoline, and it talks about the listeners and the singers and the beautiful listeners and in exchanging insipid words under the branches. It's a very fun song. It also has a sort of plays on the idea of a mandolin playing, which seemed to work pretty well with pizzicato strings. And so we made an arrangement of this song. We have it both on the record. We have it both on the piano voice version and this arranged version that we made. It is ours. Sorry, Fauré, if you're upset. But anyway, we hope you like it.
That's great. Would you think that that Fauré was really getting a kick out of those folks in Venice, walking around inspired by what he saw in Venice when he was writing this?
I would imagine so. He did write some of these there, although not all of them, and they kind of ended up getting that name postemptively, I think. And they're not all actually of Venice, so to speak. But yeah, absolutely, we can hear it that way.
There's a flavor.
Yeah.
Great. Mandoline by Gabriel Fauré.
Les donneurs de sérénade et les belles écouteuses échangent des propos fades sous les ramures chanteuses. C'est Tircis et c'est Amète, et c'est l'éternel cri tendre, et c'est Damis qui pour maître cruel fit m'avertendre. Leur courte veste de soie, leurs longues robes à queue, leur élégance, leur joie, et leurs molles ombres bleues. trône dans l'extase d'une lune rose et grise. Et la mandoline jase parmi les frissons de brise. Les donneurs de sérénade et les belles écouteuses échangent des propos fades sous les ramures chanteuses.
Yes. Mandoline by Gabriel Fauré, baritone Harry Baechtel, pianist Michael Seregow, and the Sylvestris Quartet performing Fauré's Mandoline, the mandolin, ending today's Thursdays at 3 program. Again, to find out more about these wonderful musicians, their brand new CD, The Good Song, Fauré in the 1890s, or their performance at PSU tomorrow evening, please visit our website, allclassical.org. Next week, on Thursdays at 3, Canadian violinist Jasper Wood and pianist David Riley join forces to perform for you. Gramophone declared that encores are a must when listening to Wood and Riley perform together. It's going to be another great show. To find out how to be in the studio audience for future Thursdays at 3, head to our website, allclassical.org. And also there on our website, we'll archive today's program for the next 2 weeks on demand. I'm Suzanne Nance. I'm very grateful to our performers today, the Sylvestris Quartet, and they are violinists Anna Washburn and Tyler Lewis, violist Aaron Westman, and cellist Gretchen Clausen. I'm very grateful to our pianist Michael Seregow and to our baritone Harry Baechtel. Thank you so much for being here. Our engineer and producer is Daniel Hornbeck. And I want to say thank you to you as well. It is your support of All Classical Portland that makes this show and this radio station possible. So thank you for your generous support to this service. Thursdays at 3 is broadcast live from the Roger O'Doyle Performance Studio at All Classical Portland. Our piano came to us from Michelle's Piano Company, Portland's exclusive representative for new Steinway pianos. And once again, we'll hear pianist Michael Seregow performing our show theme by Ernest Bloch as we say goodbye.